Good morning, everyone. Still, our center is just next to a busy street, so you will probably hear some of the noise once in a while. So please just ignore the sound. Today we are moving to Bodhisattva number 4, Vajragarbha, and number 5, Bodhisattva Maitreya. Like I mentioned earlier, that there are 4 Bodhisattvas questions that are related to the concept or the method that advanced practitioners might encounter. So last time we introduced Bodhisattva universal vision. So in general, Buddha answered this Bodhisattva's question regarding how what the method in general that can lead us to Buddhahood. So basically, we should be able to understand and just practice, and then attain the Buddhahood. But the problem is most of the audience, including some of the Bodhisattva in the assembly, as well as us ordinary people in the Dharma ending age, we probably can get some sense, but we can't truly understand and experience what Buddha say. So there are following couple Bodhisattva ask question for us. So the Bodhisattva Vajragarbha ask a very fundamental questions. From these questions, you will see that actually Buddhist teachings Buddha is welcome challenging. He welcomed all the challenges, questions to him, and Buddha did not ask for the following without understanding. We call blind faith. So we need to establish our understanding and practice based on the true faith and understand both the principle and the method as well. So this Vajragarbha asks question, three questions. The first question is, if we are intrinsically Buddhas, why we are ignorant now? Why we are vexed sentient beings right now? And second, if we are originally ignorant, why Buddha says that we have intrinsically accomplished Buddhahood? That's basically copy what Buddha said in the previous chapter. And then third, if we have intrinsically accomplished Buddhahood and then give rise to ignorance afterward, then when will the Buddhas give rise to vexation again? Okay, so Buddha, you are teaching now, you are very pure, you have no ignorance, everything like you say in the previous chapter. But when will you become ordinary people like us again? If we are originally pure and get the ignorance afterward. So this question is very interesting to ask and to understand. Basically, Vajragarbha is asking, what is the origin of life? Why we become sentient beings? Why we exist as sentient beings with all kinds of karma? You know, what is the first moment that we got, you know, defiled? This is a very important question. So Buddha first answered, saying that every world, you know, all the worlds in the universe, or all existence, you know, every world has a begin and an end. Forms, then perish. Has a past before and a future later. Exist, then become non-existent. Accumulates, then disperses. Starts, then terminates. These are all the terms to describe material phenomena. You know, we can see things start to accumulate and disappear. And then thoughts in the mind follow one another continuously and flowing repetitively with all sorts of grasping and rejecting. All these are cyclic existence. So Buddha point out the so-called cyclic existence or samsara first, before answer Vajragarbha's questions. So if we reflect our daily life, we can see these patterns. Like, you know, if you go back to, you know, if you are over 50 years old, and if you go back to your hometown, you will see things change. Some of the old building got torn down and new building get built up. And the river might dry out and then become a road. And sometimes, you know, the sea level change and the coast changes shape. So if you live long enough, you will be able to see, you know, the world, the material world change. And then if we reflect our mind, that if you can reflect roughly the things that you like when you are a child, probably you don't like right now. And something you don't like, and you probably like it right now. And not just like or dislike change, also the concept change. What you think was good before, you might think is not good for you right now, and vice versa. So in the big scope, our mind change. And also if you meditate and your mind go to more subtle state, you will be able to see that the thought after thought after thought, you know, every thought come and go, come and go, come and go. And all these thoughts has grasping and rejecting mentality with it. And this just keeps cycling. We live our daily life, and we live our lives just like this, in this cyclic existence environment and this cyclic existence mind. Okay, so Buddha give two, I just a couple analogies to explain this, and I'll just give you two. One is when we're sitting on a sailing boat, and that, you know, we sit the sailing boat, we sit there, And then we will see that the the shores were passing by, moving back, moving behind us. So this analogy is Buddha tried to explain that actually we are moving, and the thing on the shore are not moving, but we will perceive it as like, I'm not moving, a thing's moving. Okay, so this is just like a koan of the sixth patriarch Huinan. So when there is a story that he saw two monks arguing that a flag is flipping in the sky, and then they are arguing that it's the wind that make these flags flipping, or it's the flags that is flipping. So we see that the flags flipping in the sky. So Huinan finally said to them that, the wind is not moving, the flags is not moving, it's your mind that is moving. So point out to the point that it is really we are moving, not the things we perceive are moving. So this is also this level is actually quite deep for us to experience or to understand. Okay, so for this outside world, all this cyclic existence seems moving, come and go, initiate, form and perish. All that is because we are moving. And secondly, the very famous, very well-known and well cited analogy to all the Chan teacher is that when we know that, okay, I'm moving, my mind is moving, then I use a method, for example, samatha, to still my mind. I try to still my mind, and try to see the true reality of non-moving. But we did not get to the when the mind is still at a subtle level, but our mind seems still. And then this analogy is trying to see that there is a torch that is spinning, right? But our mind is not subtle enough to see the very quick change of the torch. So when the torch spins, it's like a movie. When we watch movies, actually the very fast forward of each film continue together. So we see the movie that people move on the screen. So likewise, if our mind is not subtle enough to see the every scene, every moment of the torch, then we will delude ourselves to think that actually it's a fire wheel that exists in front of us instead of a torch that is spinning. You see every torch, every movement of the torch, every inch movement of the torch. So this is also Buddha tried to explain that the so-called cyclic existence. Okay, so the things that does not exist that way, but we think it the other way. So Buddha used these two analogies to try to explain the cyclic existence, the reason of cyclic existence. So things, phenomena or things usually have 4 stages: forming, enduring, decaying and perishing. And thoughts in our mind usually go through a stage of initiating, abiding, changing, and vanishing. Okay, for some of the advanced practitioners, they are able to see every thought initiating and vanishing, but they are unable to see abiding and changing because the things go very fast and the mind is not subtle enough to see all this change. But this, they can see thoughts initiating and vanishing, initiating, vanishing, so that they won't mistaken the continuum of the thoughts as the true mind. Okay. Because things vanish, come, initially vanish, initially vanish. So it's not a permanent. There is no true substance or true essence of each thought. So Buddha further explained, if we use the cyclic mind to generate cyclic views, one will never enter into the Tathagata's ocean of great quiescent extinction. In other words, how we interpreted our existence and the existence of the environment with the view of cyclic mind, that means still follow this pattern of, four stages of existence, then what we perceive and the view we get are all illusory or cyclic. They are all cyclic views. And once we have cyclic views, we are trapped in this cycle of samsara, and it's impossible for us to see the Buddha nature. So when Buddha explained this further, so why we have cyclic views in the beginning? This is just try to repeat the content in the previous chapter, but here Buddha emphasized that, just like seeing flowers in the sky, there is no flower in the sky, or there is no second moon. It's because we have eye problem, our eye got some kind of sickness, so that's why we can see flowers and the second moons in the sky, but nobody else can see the same. So what's the problem? You try to grab the flowers, or you try to grab the second moon. It's impossible because they don't exist. So the problem is we need to fix our sick eyes, and then we will realize that the flowers and second moon do not exist in the beginning. So here, usually we will think that, there is a so-called the cause is in what is that called? We will think that because I'm sick, so that's why the flower exists. Because of this, so that's why this is called relativity. So Buddha says that the flowers in the skies and your sick eyes are not relatively existent. Okay. I exist because I have a parents. My parents is my reason brought me that I exist in this world. That's called relativity, right? There, because of something, so therefore something. And we will think that, oh, because I have a sick eye, so that's why I can see flowers in the sky. But Buddha say, here, this is the cyclic views. We have sick eyes. That's why we have ignorance. That's why we have, you know, karma and suffering. The problem, Buddha say, we have sick eyes, but the ignorance is the flowers in the sky and the second moon. They do not, ignorance does not exist. It does not have the accents. It's because of the sick eyes. It's not relative existence of your eyes and the ignorance. So this is don't try to fix the ignorance. Don't try to fix the flowers in the sky. What we need to fix is our sick eyes. Okay. And secondly, the follow-up analogy is that is smelling gold ore. So on your left, you see a typical gold ore is all kinds of debris, things that mix with the gold. But the property of the gold in the ore is the same as the pure gold. So the pure gold and the gold in the ore have the same property. They are the same gold, but one is in ore, one is pure. So here, Buddha tried to use this analogy to explain that we all have Buddha nature, but in sentient beings, our Buddha nature is within us with a lot of other things. That's why we are not in a pure form of true nature. We cannot see it. We see it ourselves as ore, not a gold. So we need to purify. How to purify? We need to do the smelting. So in order to see the pure nature, pure gold. So this analogy, Buddha used these two analogies to explain these three questions. First, why we have ignorance right now? That's because we have sick eyes. And if we are because we have sick eyes, that's why we see the illusory flowers. And we have, even though we have ignorance, illusory ignorance due to the sick eyes, and that's why we are the sentient beings right now. But just like in the gold ore, our Buddha nature is with us always, and it's as pure. The gold in the ore is as pure as the gold in the pure gold. The property are the same. Okay, and then why Buddha? Okay, when will you get it sick eyes again and become sentient beings? And Buddha said, once the gold is purified from the ore, it's gold, it's pure gold. You will never go back to the ore again. Okay, so Buddha used these two analogies try to explain, but each analogy cannot explain all of them. So we need Buddha used these two analogies to compromise together to explain all these three questions together. So in the very conclusions, that we have gold in us and we need to purify. If we don't purify, we are just like a sentient being with sick eyes. We will see flowers in the sky. We will see second moon. We will see ignorance, and the things come after ignorance. So Buddha say, your three questions are not the right questions. So this is a very good, very interesting dialogue. And also, sometimes in our daily life, when people ask you the question, is not really questions. We don't have to answer that question directly, but we can use some other analogy or some examples to explain that, this is not a right questionings, indeed. It's just like, this is visionary illusions picture. Okay, if I ask you, how many lines are banded, and where they're banded, at what angles, you count it. But when you see each line, you found out that each lines are parallel. No lines are banded, and let alone, which point, at which position that the line bended and at what angle. These are all, the three questions are not the right questions, because our eyes see the banded when in reality they are all parallel. So if we have the question based on the wrong views from the illusions, then Buddha doesn't need to answer the illusory questions. Okay, so here is very, very interesting for these chapters. So here, basically, here Buddha answered Vajragarbha's question is, okay, no more questions, because all the questions are illusory. Those questions does not exist if you fix your sick eyes. And all the questions based on illusory ignorance and ignorant principles, ignorant phenomena, and all these questions based on the ignorant principles and ignorant phenomena does not exist, do not exist. Okay, fix your sick eyes is the key. Okay, just like people, it's interesting, nobody asks in a dream, when you are having a dream, you're just in a dream and then you have a very good story in a dream, but nobody catch the idea, why I'm here, when did the dream start, and what was I yesterday in the dream? Nobody questioning that. And when you wake up, and you don't bother to ask, last night in my dream, my kid shouted to me, and I think you won't go to your kid and say, why you shouted at me last night in my dream? And people will think you're crazy. Because you're awake. You wake up and you find out that it's a dream. So you won't bother to questioning all the things in the dream, because it's illusory, it does not exist. All right. The problem now is, sorry, yeah, right. How to fix the sick eyes, no more question regarding the things in the dream. But how can I wake up? How can I wake up? And how can I fix my sick eyes? How can I see the true reality? Okay. Maitreya, he is the Bodhisattva about to come to this samsara, the Saha world again after Shakyamuni Buddha. So he raised his hand, he stand up and asked the question that, that he needed, in order to fulfill his vow. So, okay, great. We have cyclic views. We are in cyclic existence. The first question, how to sever the root of cyclic existence? Basically, how to fix our sick eyes. Second, how many types of capacity of sentient beings are there? So, Bodhisattva need to help sentient beings to liberate. And also, all of us need to liberate. The problem is when I try to help people, well, there are so many kinds of people. You cannot use one method, one way to help them. It will not work. It doesn't work that way. So we need to understand what kind of people we are helping with in order to have the third, a proper expedient methods to help them. Okay, so this is basically the three main questions by Bodhisattva Maitreya. How to sever the root of cyclic existence, how many types of people there, and what expedient method can be used. These three questions, if we understand these three questions, if we can get out of this samsara, cyclic existence here from the sutra, means we can achieve the wisdom eyes. Okay, so the sutra goes, the Buddha prays the Bodhisattva Maitreya, saying that you have asked about the most profound, secret, subtle, and wondrous truths, which can enable bodhisattvas to cleanse their wisdom eyes. In other words, if you can resolve or achieve what in these chapters, your wisdom eye will be perfected, and also you will you are able to enable all sentient beings to permanently sever themselves from cyclic existence, to awaken to absolute reality, and to possess the forbearance of the non-arising. This is another wisdom of non-arising. So here, the content is very important for all the bodhisattva who try to achieve along the way and practice in the 10 muni. So here, the first question, how to sever the roots of cyclic existence? Buddha says that due to all kinds of attached love and grasping desire, therefore cyclic existence exists. And further in the sutra, they explain that in our daily life, attached love generates grasping desire. And the grasping desire enhanced attached love. So these two mutually reinforce each other. And these two, attached love and grasping desire, are the core reason for us to, the typo, repetitive, for us to repetitively exist. So this is called cyclic, because it's recording, repeat. So we have attached love and grasping desire, and then we accumulate karma, and then further have karmic retribution that we call life. So we will trap in the cycle of so-called life and death. Okay, so here Buddha talking about the 12 links of dependent origination, the reason of cyclic existence. And here, that because of the love, the attached love, and the grasping desire, and then we generate lots of vexations, and we accumulate the karma, and it's stored in our ignorance, and also storage of our karma. And then when this karma, manifest, then we go to the volitional formation, and then the consciousness. Kenny, you should mute yourself. Volitional formation, then the consciousness grasp the namarupa, and then we have the 6 organs, and basically the body form. So this is called the stream of karma. And then once we have the karma, the body, we get in contact with the environment, we have the sensation, and that starts our suffering. And then we have birth and death. So this contact, sensation, birth and death become the spring of suffering. So these 12 links of dependent origination explain how the attached love and the grasping desire play in our cyclic existence. So here, Buddha further emphasized that in this figure, I use the apple trees as our body, the 5 grasping aggregate our body and mind, and then the grass represent the ignorance. So this ignorance cover up the soil. The soil is our karma, and then the roots represent our self-attachment that has the subjectivity and objectivity duality. And then here is a key. Attached love and grasping desire is kind of watering our ignorance so that we have more stronger, bigger self-attachment. We have a stronger 5 grasping aggregates to perceive this environment, and then also enhance the roots that absorb the karma seeds to grow our consciousness, body, and mind. So here Buddha tried to emphasize that, this attached love and grasping desire are the key for our cyclic existence. Of course, mainly if we want to reverse the 12 link of dependent origination in order to liberate from the cyclic existence, usually we say that there are 2 parts that you can break the cycle. One is the love, the attached love and grasping desire. The other part is the fundamental ignorance. But the problem is it's really hard. We don't even know where our 7th and 8th consciousness are. So it's really difficult to cut it right away here. But the grasping love and the attached love and grasping desire are very obvious for us to sever, to cut off. So here, Buddha says there are 3 kinds of attached love, okay, and that we need to detach from. Otherwise, if in this cycle of attached love, if we try to grasp what we love, if we get it, this will cultivate our seeds to become a hungry ghost. If we hate because we cannot get what we like. You know, we try to grasp, but we cannot get it. We generate hatreds. Then these hatred seeds will lead us to Ashura, or you know, the hell being, the hell realm. And if we love what is good, and also we will have another kind of attachment. Here, the first level is the craving. If we attach to the craving things, for example, foods, clothing, our appearance, you know, fame and money, social status, all this, we attach to it, then we will generate the vexation that follows. We will grasp it. Our mind will be at the grasping mode all the time, and we are afraid to lose them, and then we generate fear, okay? And then if we cannot get them, we generate hatreds. This is the first type of attached love. The second kind of attached love is good behaviors. For example, you know, you good practitioners because you make donations. Yeah, and then, you know, Sifu said that, you know, Chan practitioners, we need to keep the precepts. Monastic need to keep all kinds of precepts in order to become a good monastic. You know, people we well, you know, I need to keep the precepts, or I have to help others, you know, and I have to be a good parent, you know, and so I do this because that made me feel like I'm doing good things. And that's also an attachment, because you think that doing these good things will bring you a good reward. Or, you know, that you think is good. So attached to this is also, you know, attached love. And the third is attached. This is more subtle and more stronger, actually. The previous two, it's easy to let go, but the third one is not easy. We attach to the consequences of practice, including names, the so-called names like dignity, pride, the names like you are good mother, like you want to be a good parent. So you establish a good plan to a good upbringing plan for your kids in order to you know, to make your kids a good behaved children. You know, you hope that they can grow up to be a good person or successful person. So all these things, because you attach to a name that, you know, a good parent or good kids are. So if you know, you give so much to your children, you spend a lot of money, energy, all that, you basically, you know, live. You get whatever to your kids so that they can be a good kids. And one day your kids shout at you that I hate you. You tie me up. You screw up my life. Then what will you feel? You know, because the names of good parents, the name of good kids tied you up. So, and all about dignity, the loyalty, you know, if you are so loyal to your boss, for example, and one day some misunderstanding or something happens, and then your boss or your parents say that you lied to me, what will you feel? And also and that's for ordinary people, for practitioners, I know the Buddhahood said, what is good? I want to see my true nature, and I should attain samadhi, I should, first fruit, second fruit, I should attain arhatship. I'm enlightened. I see my true nature. Somebody need to certify my attainment. That kind of things. This is also attached love. If we have this attached, the third level of attached love, that's in some way it's good, because you would try your best to practice, to be a good parent. But the problem is it might bring you some good reward, but then this attachment will not free you. Okay, so Buddha says that these three types of attachment need attached love that need to that we need to dissolve. And secondly, that's the root of, that this is all the roots of cyclic existence. And the second question, how many types of sentient beings are there? And in the sutra, but of course in the later chapters, Buddha will explain more. Basically, we have inherent desire that will flourish and increases our ignorance, and then further establish different hindrance of principle and phenomena. Then it will manifest 5 distinct natures of sentient beings. Okay, so that's the hindrance of principle and the hindrance of phenomena. Let me give you an example. For example, we all see apples, falling from the apple tree down to earth, right? Nobody thinks it's weird. But there is a person called Newton. He thinks that, why is that? When everybody so think that it's just natural. It's, apple falling from the apple tree to the ground. What's the problem? But the Newton thinks that there is something wrong. Why is that? So he is the one that overcome the hindrance of phenomena and then discover the gravity. And because of the principle of gravity, all the phenomena in the universe can be explained, well, partially, okay? And so I understand the gravity now. Okay, I know apple, falling down to the ground. But do you know how to apply the principle? So we have another level of hindrance is, do you know, every day we do the laundry, when we spin the clothing, get rid of the moisture, the water. This is also the principle of gravity in the opposite way. Spinning, right? So do you understand the principle of spinning? If you don't, then you are not fully understand the principle of gravity. And also questions. What would happen if the Earth, our planet, stops spinning, self-spinning? We all know that the Earth have self-spinning and the spinning around the sun, the solar system, right? Can you explain? If you really understand, you don't have the hindrance of principles, you should be able to know, what if the Earth, the planet, the earth stops spinning, what would happen? Okay, that's just a very example, and this is also the perception of humans, that we see this phenomena and we find out these principles. But does this pair apply to heaven? Does that pair of principle and phenomena apply to the ghost realm? Obviously not. So we don't understand the ultimate principle in order to explain all the phenomena. So here, I just try to make it short, that Buddha sever all the phenomena, the hindrance of phenomena and hindrance of principles. He understands all the phenomena and principles. Bodhisattva only subdue the phenomena, the hindrance of phenomena and hindrance of principle. And the two vehicles only eliminate some of the hindrance of phenomena, because they think that the namarupa, the body and minds, are the roots of the cyclic existence and are the roots of being not liberated. So they understand this the body and mind issues. So they eliminate the existence of body and minds, so that they get liberation from the suffering of body and mind. But still, they only eliminate some of the hindrance of phenomena, but the hindrance of principles still active, still exist. And sentient beings, we have everything, all the path, we still have everything, all the hindrance, plus they don't know Buddhahood. Okay. Now, the third question, what expedient method to use to deliver sentient beings? That's also very important. And here, compassion. The manifestation of Bodhisattva in this world they manifest not based on the attached love. Their existence is based on compassion. Yet, they know why there is a life and death existence. But they enter into the life and death cycle not because of attached love, but because of compassion. Okay, that's very important. Okay, we exist with attached love, but Bodhisattva come to this world with compassion. So here, that's how their way to help sentient beings is they manifest in accordance with the expedient means from the great compassion, and they manifest in various forms. You know, from all kinds of sutra, it says that, you know, they can be a human, they can be a woman, they can be a king, they can be a dog, you know, all kinds of forms. Just try to help us and work with sentient beings in encouraging and opposing situation. So this is very important. Sometimes with all things that, you know, help me. If you are compassion, you should help me. If I have no money, you give me some money. If I have no food, give me some food. Or, you know, if I'm suffer, give me some painkiller, you know, and or, you know, comfort me, then that's called helping. But here, Buddha said that there are two ways to help people. In a positive helping, you can help them. Also, you can oppose them, oppose the situations. For example, if your kids are not disciplined, what is the compassionate way to help them? Sometimes you need to, ground them in order to discipline them, right? And sometimes I beg for Buddha, I need more money, so please help me to make more money. You attach to money so much, sometimes Bodhisattva will come and then take away all your money and you bankrupt. Oh well, but Bodhisattva won't get you to go sacrifice or something. But once you lose all your money, suddenly you understand you are free from the money, you're free from the attachment, craving of the money. Okay. So this kind of, and the ultimate goal is guided us to Buddhahood, not try to harm us. But you see, what's the difference is what's behind. It's the great compassion. It's just like if you are a mother, your 1 year old try to learn how to walk. Don't, you let them fall and get up, fall and get up. You have to be, you have to take away your hands and watch. But you watch, so they fall, they get hurt, no problem, but they will learn how to walk soon. Okay, but because you have compassion mind, you watch them. But if you go to very dangerous area, they go to walk to fire, then you will help them. Otherwise they will get burned, or they will fall. So, that's because of compassion. But for ordinary life, when people try to hurt you, they set you up. If they want to see you fall and then try to exclude you, that's totally different. Because of you probably look alike, doing the same thing, providing the opposing situation, but because the compassion mind, you are watching them and you will stop the very dangerous things to happen. You won't hurt them in their life and mind. So, okay. In the book that in the Sutra, and Sifu mentioned the 3 kinds of compassion. The first is called conditional compassion. This compassion is based on the relationships with sentient beings. For example, we definitely will help our parents and children first because they are most closely related to us. Then we will help our friends and loved ones. And then we will help the people in the same New York City. And we will help people in the US, right? And then we will help people on this planet based on different extent of relationship. We help people. It's conditional, right? The second is called indiscriminate compassion. That's based on the Dharma. So we help people without discrimination. So whoever needs help, then I help. This is a Bodhisattva practice. They practice indiscriminate compassion. But still, there is attachment of subjectivity and objectivity. So Bodhisattva still have the notion of sentient beings that need help, or sentient beings I need to help them. It's still subtle notion of subjectivity and objectivity, then it is not ultimate. The final one is called unconditional compassion. That is what we call the emptiness of the three wills. No subjectivity, no objectivity, and no helping the things of the concept of helping. It's just spontaneously do whatever needs to be done. Okay, so that's 3 levels of compassion that bodhisattvas need to cultivate. And it's also for us to cultivate, even though we cannot cultivate to the highest level, and we can mainly cultivate the conditional compassion first, and then try to cultivate indiscriminate compassion further. Okay. Summary. Buddha said that we need to detach all grasping desire, which are the roots of our cyclic existence, and cultivate compassion in all conditions. And then if we can do that, all the bodhisattvas will get the perfect wisdom eyes. And if they are able, and the bodhisattvas are able to help all sentient beings in all categories. Okay, I finished today's talk here.